Hello everyone. In continuation of chapter 8 Human Health and Disease, we will talk about AIDS. The word AIDS stands for Acquired Immunodeficiency Syndrome. Acquired means that the person has not got this disease from his or her birth. Rather, this disease has been acquired by him during his lifetime. Immunodeficiency means that the immune system of an individual has become weak, and syndrome means a group of symptoms. AIDS was first reported in USA in 1981 amongst homosexuals. AIDS infections were also detected in India for the first time in prostitutes of Chennai in 1986. And in the last 25 years or so, it has spread all over the world, killing more than 25 million persons. AIDS is caused by a virus named Human Immunodeficiency Virus, HIV. HIV is a type of retrovirus. Retrovirus is a virus which has an envelope enclosing the RNA genome. If we talk about the structure of this virus, it is having a spherical outline made up of two coatings of proteins and lipids. There are some spike-like structures which are made up of glycoprotein, also known as glycoprotein spikes. The genome of this virus is made up of single-stranded RNA. There are two filaments of RNA which are joined by reverse transcriptase enzyme. So reverse transcriptase enzyme will help the virus to convert its RNA into DNA. How is this virus transmitted? HIV can be transmitted through sexual contact with infected person, by transfusion of contaminated blood and products, by sharing infected needles, as drug abusers who take drugs intravenously, they may get infected by sharing infected needles. This virus can also be transmitted from infected mother to her child through placenta. Who are the people who are at high risk of getting these infections? Individuals who have multiple sexual partners, drug addicts who take drugs intravenously, individuals who require repeated blood transfusions, and children who are born to an HIV infected mother. HIV cannot spread through casual contacts like kissing, hugging, sharing of food, sharing of toilets, insect bites, bathing, sneezing, coughing, or sweat. It must be learnt here that the HIV spreads only through body fluids. It is therefore very important for the physical and psychological well-being that the HIV/AIDS infected persons are not isolated from family and society. Incubation period of this virus vary from a few months to many years, usually 5 to 10 years. Life cycle of a retrovirus. How HIV infects an individual. As you know, retrovirus is having viral RNA core. Virus infects the normal cells. Here we'll say that they enter into macrophages. The RNA genome of the virus will replicate into the DNA by using reverse transcriptase enzyme. This viral DNA now will move into the DNA of the host, and as a result it will direct the infected cells to produce the virus particles. The macrophages continue to produce virus, and in this way they act like HIV factory. Simultaneously, HIV also enters into helper T lymphocytes. Here they replicate and produce progeny virus. The progeny viruses released in the blood now attack the other helper T cells, and this cycle is repeated progressively, resulting in the decrease in the number of helper T lymphocytes in the body of the infected person. During this period, persons suffer from bouts of fever, diarrhea, and weight loss. Because the patient has lost helper T cells, the person starts getting infected from even minor infections that could be otherwise overcome. such as those due to bacteria, especially mycobacterium, viruses, fungi, and even parasites like toxoplasma. The patient becomes so immune deficient that he or she is unable to protect himself or herself against these infections. For example, small common cold could also turn fatal for a person suffering from AIDS. A widely used diagnostic test is enzyme-linked immunosorbent assay, which is ELISA. AIDS can be treated with antiretroviral drugs, but this treatment is only partially effective. These drugs can only prolong the life of the patient, but they cannot prevent his death. As AIDS has no cure, prevention is the best option. Moreover, HIV infection more often spreads due to conscious behavior patterns, and this is not something that happens inadvertently. Like pneumonia or typhoid infections, if you get, you don't know whether the microbe will enter into your body or not. Of course, infection in blood, transfusion patients, or newborns, etc., may take place due to poor monitoring. The only excuse may be ignorance, and it has been rightly said, don't die of ignorance. So get educated. In our country, NACO, that is National AIDS Control Organization, and other non-governmental organizations are doing a lot to educate people about AIDS. World Health Organization WHO has started number of programs to prevent the spreading of HIV infections. Making blood safe from HIV, ensuring the use of only disposable needles and syringes in public as well as private hospitals and clinics, free distribution of condoms, controlling drug abuse, advocating safe sex practices, and promoting regular checkups for HIV in susceptible populations are some of the steps taken by WHO. Infections with HIV or having AIDS is something that should not be hidden because it may lead to spread of this disease to many more people. HIV or AIDS infected people need your help and sympathy instead of being shunned from society. Unless society recognizes it as a problem to be dealt with in a collective manner, there are more chances of its spread. It is a malady that can only be tackled by the society and medical fraternity acting together to prevent the spread of this disease. So students, I hope you have understood the topic. Now answer these questions. What is the full form of AIDS and HIV? What type of a virus is HIV? How is HIV transmitted? Describe the life cycle of a retrovirus. Why macrophages are known as HIV factories? Which type of cells are infected by HIV?